What makes a man a man? This is the primary question on the minds of a lot of men seeking self improvement. And sure, there are a myriad of responses out there that might be used to indicate or to mark a man's masculinity. But when it really comes down to the bare bones of the question, there's actually only one way or one thing that sets a man apart from the fairer sex: testosterone. But before we dive into more details, be sure to hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, or follow me anywhere I can be found. Kick it off. So why testosterone replacement therapy? Well, guys, it's widely known that testosterone is the single most important male hormone. In fact, it's the primary male sex hormone that's not just responsible for giving you steel strength stiffies and an insatiable kind of, fuck anything that walks type sexual appetite, but it's literally the base hormone that regulates or influences just about every male bodily function. So genetics do serve as the body blueprint for muscle mass, fat distribution, bone density, immune function, and so on, but testosterone is the aggressive foreman who brings everything together and actually gets things built. So when you're feeling less than optimal, low testosterone likely has something to do with it. Testosterone replacement therapy is simply a medical protocol designed to restore your optimal male hormonal levels. But the problem is that not all doctors, one, know about the issue of low testosterone amongst men, or know how to actually prescribe testosterone replacement therapy correctly. And that's fine. That's nothing against doctors. It's just that many of them, especially if they get busy or they don't keep up to date on things that are kind of out there, things that are coming up, how would they know? It's not a common topic, which is why I'm here to tell you about it. So when it does come down to it, if you are able to actually convince a doctor, then most of them today just prefer to scratch the surface of the issue. And they often do this just by looking at symptoms of low T. So they'll start by prescribing, in my case at least, all sorts of brain altering psychiatric medications like SSRIs. And then that's fine and dandy. But the problem is once those symptoms start becoming more prevalent, then they push even more pills to treat the side effects of the first pill. And for me, this is a cycle. This is a path that I just didn't really want to go down. And in my case, especially, and likely for you too, the meds almost never do the trick. They do alleviate the symptoms, but how long can you be on them? What you really want to do is fix the underlying issues. Get the mood, get the physical well-being in order, and then hopefully, you can start alleviate some of the suffering too. And to be honest, guys, a lot of medications out there, not to knock them all, but many of them, they will leave you a little more messed up than before and may even present a whole new slew of more serious symptoms. So I'd just say what I advocate is that you're better than that. Stop screwing around with the pharmaceuticals if you can. And, let's investigate the potential cause of your mediocrity once and for all. And in the case of many men, that is low testosterone. But where to go from here? Before you go buying vials of test and blasting your ass with a handheld harpoon, let's take a gander at some of the symptoms first. So here are 7 signs that you should consider testosterone replacement therapy. First is the obvious one, sexual dysfunction. Any subpar symptoms surrounding the topic of sex could point to low T. Reduced drive, issues getting your soldier to stand at full salute, and dry or weak loads are all possible indicators of low testosterone. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood, said no high test man ever. As men, we often get a bad rap for wanting sex anytime and anywhere. Don't listen to that nonsense. When all is right hormonally, you should feel ready to go just about any time the opportunity arises. Which, when you have higher testosterone, that becomes a lot more often. Which leads us to point number 2. When you have low T, guys, you probably will notice that you get negative reactions from women. No sexual opportunities, you say? Well, then there's a sign of low testosterone. Regardless of the mainstream low T, beta, soy boy, loser type media says, women like masculine men, period. If you constantly repulse women with your presence, and let's be honest here, we've probably all been there a time or two, some more than we'd like to admit, then you may need to do some T-related triage ASAP. A man with high testosterone exudes a cool, calm, collected, masculine confidence that, well, the fair sex can clearly feel. And when your man motor is firing on all cylinders, women do take notice, guys. Most will completely change the way they interact with you. Disagree with me? Check your tea, then fix it. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. Number three, and you'll notice as we go along, it's all kind of play in each other. So number three, if you have an issue, if women don't like you and you have an issue, sexually, then that might point to this sign, which is depression. Think of all history's great men. What did they have in common? Well, they were conquerors. And the key to living life as a vibrant man is growth. Not just growth, it's constant growth. It's the ability to take an idea and manifest it into reality. And it has to be constant because anytime you're not growing, you're dying. And again, guys, this is innate and it's hard coded into our DNA. Well, depression is just the complete lack of growth. In fact, it's literally the opposite. The word literally means a lack of movement. And in life, when it comes down to it, it's either about progression or regression. And regression, for me, it's just another word for dying. So, do you find yourself lacking that powerful internal urge that propels you forward in all things life? Then maybe it's time to get your first batch of blood work done. But the idea of blood work, or for me at least, especially when it comes to needles or poking anything in my arm or anywhere else in my body, it does induce a little bit of this next sign, which is number 4, anxiety. Experience a general uneasiness during day-to-day life, well, that could be another telltale sign that you may need to consider testosterone replacement therapy. Excessive worry, irritability, restlessness, panic, no real threat present. Well, guys, those are signs of anxiety. Being in a constant fight or flight response makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint, especially when you have low testosterone. Maybe it's nature's way of keeping you alert for predators, since typically low T males were the first to be preyed upon back in our more kind of prehistoric times. But regardless, life is too awesome to not live optimally. It really is. Instead, imagine waking up with a vibrant, confident, radiant energy pulsating through your veins every single day. Well, many new patients of testosterone replacement therapy describe exactly that as an effect of increased overall sense of well-being. And sadly for me, it wasn't until I got on TRT in the first place that I even understood what the term well-being meant. Number 5, and you can be honest with yourself whether you'd like or not here, but take a look in the mirror and you can probably tell if you have low T or not. Because number 5, this sign, guys, is pretty obvious. It's physical issues. Is your hair falling out, man tits sagging, bones creaking, skin cracking, or joints aching, or just all around? Or are you overweight? Like, are you significantly overweight? Well, many people accept these physical symptoms as a natural part of aging. In fact, I can't stand those people that say, like, oh, yeah, when you're 30, it all goes downhill from there. No, it doesn't. In fact, the older you get, the easier it becomes to maintain relatively lean levels of muscle mass, especially when you have like 30, 40, 50 plus years in your body. You should know how to do it by now, guys. You should know how to diet. You should know how to get proper sleep. You should know how to train correctly for your body type and for your goals. And there's really no excuse, except for this one, which in a lot of men, it's just low testosterone. And that's actually because there's kind of a symbiotic relationship here. If you're overweight, you aromatase more, which means that you convert testosterone to estrogen, which makes it much easier to store and hold on to higher levels of body fat. And doing so, aromatase occurs more, which plummets your testosterone more, and so on. So it is kind of a negative cycle. However, there's no excuse for this. There's no reason to not have thick hair unless you're prone to balding. Damn genetics. And in that case, just get jacked and shave it off. That's an awesome look for guys. Healthy skin, lean body mass, Superman strength, and rock solid bone density well into your golden years. Plenty of people do it. There's nothing special about them. They just made the decision to get on board and get it taken care of. And really, I mean, do you want to look like this guy? No, really, no one does, because when you look like a guy like that, and I've been there and back time and time again, and I'm sure if we're being honest with ourselves, most of us have too. Life's a lot better when you're able to physically go out there and enjoy it. And believe otherwise, well, you've been lied to. You really have. Even if you eat a clean lifestyle, eat nutritiously, and train regularly, you can still experience physical issues. But again, in this case, you'll probably want to look at the low testosterone thing, and not saying that you have it. In this instance, it'd just be at least a little bit nice to maybe rule it out, which could be something else, but that's a topic for another video, another day. Moving on to number 6, sleep disturbances. You should have no problem falling asleep the minute your head hits the pillow. Those with high TE have low levels of anxiety and depression, which are often primary causes of sleep issues. Plus, a man who spends all day kicking ass is usually physically exhausted and more than ready to get a solid 8 every single night. Sleep is serious business, folks, and it is required to keep all of your important bodily and mental functions in check. So, whatever the reason behind your sleeplessness, it's usually resolved once you get your hormones leveled out, or at least it improves significantly. Which leads us to number 7. Once you start getting all these things in check, you'll also notice that your mental clarity is just there all of a sudden. And to the converse, if you have low T, well, then there might be still issues there. Have you noticed your memory as sharp as it once was, or despite your best effort, you're just sometimes unable to focus? Well, low testosterone brings a blizzard of bad news when it comes to your mental faculties as well. And I know those who are thinking, forget about it. The dumb jock stereotype of only complete morons being able to achieve athletic condition or having high T, well, that's also complete nonsense. Testosterone has more an effect on your mental state than you might think. Especially in a society where everyone has a mental condition, practitioners, psychologists, and psychiatrists, well, again, they're quick to push pills for just about anything. But have you gone full pharma and still kind of feel like shit? Then maybe it's time to toss your scripts in the trash, or at least consider another alternative. And in this case, I'd advocate strongly testosterone replacement therapy. Again, guys, this is only for those who want consistent energy, consistent focus, razor sharp memory. And this is as it pertains to this category of, just being mentally optimal. So that being said, that should tie it all up. Really, it just comes down to, is testosterone replacement therapy for you? We know it works. It simply works, guys. But I realize it's still not for everyone. So that's where you really do have to ask yourself. Yes, life happens at times. Sometimes you'll be beaten up, dragged around, and just worn down. These ebbs and flows, well, they're natural and they make us who we are today. However, if you've only ever experienced an underlying shitty feeling despite the highs and lows that naturally occur in life, then you definitely need to get your testosterone checked out. And are you worried about the negative stigma? Well, don't be. There's no good excuse as to why you shouldn't be the best version of you at all times. And to be honest, I remember feeling embarrassed too, and kind of a little bit ashamed the first time when I first considered testosterone replacement therapy. But luckily, I followed through. And although I kind of kept it to the vest for a good while after it, once the testosterone level did start coming to range, I could really give a shit less what anyone thought, because my testosterone was normal. When it's normal, you don't really care. Plus, as a side effect, which again, it works, guys. It's obvious with anyone who's on it. I look and feel great all the damn time. And there's no reason for you to not feel like springing out of bed, seizing the day, and making the world yours every single morning. Seriously, are you tired of feeling just generally weak, lazy, and sometimes, if we're being honest again, like a whiny little bitch? Well, then let's do something about it. Guys, when it comes down to it, we live in the 21st century. The technology is there. We know the protocol. We know how to fix these things, and we know how to make you optimal. And if you're worried about, the stigma of doing testosterone replacement therapy, well, just realize we live in a society that's literally an upside down clown world. Up is down, right is left, black is white. Women can be men, and there's no reason why a man can't be a man either. So if you're worried about that at all, get over yourself. Who really cares if you're actually a man who wants to look, feel, and live life like a man? There's no issue there. Which brings us to the next step. What to do next? So let's assume you decide that, you might need some testosterone replacement therapy. Well, if you got to that point, congratulations on taking the first step. The first step of solving any problem is admitting you do have a problem. But from this point, there's a lot more to be done. I suggest doing some more intensive research. In all seriousness, messing with your hormones, it's not really a decision that you want to take lightly. I can give you anecdotal evidence all day long, and I would be glad to do so. But for something more in depth, definitely check out some different resources online and start taking your health into your own hands. Now, the fact you're here means that you're already on the right path. I just wish you the best of luck in your journey to self optimization and hope to see you on the other side of the equation. It's definitely worth it. Definitely. So if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, or find me anywhere I can be found. And until next time, I'm Jaren with another Menshrine video.